Hi, everybody. We've got about 2 minutes till we get started. So I'm going to give everybody plenty of time to get on before I start the teaching process. Usually I like to open up my webinars with with actually me live talking to you guys because I feel like, there's a lot of disconnect. So if you're catching the replay, this is a personal greeting for you as well. So tell me about yourselves, you guys. Tell me who you are, where are you from? Some of you are probably students. Hey, Karen, and I see some of you hopping in that are already part of the mentorship and mastery group, or our students. And some of you are brand new to what we do and what we offer from the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself when we get started with the webinar. So yeah, I want to hear it. Top of the morning to you, Kerrigan. Yay. So I want to hear, first of all, for those of you who are struggling to get clients, tell me what your struggles are. Put them in the chat because I'm going to speak to your concerns and your worries. You can put your questions in the Q&A or the chat if you like. Most of the time it's easier if it's in the Q&A for me to track at the end. But what I'm going to do is I am going to present with a slide deck today because I feel like it kind of is going to keep me in line. So I'm going to talk about local and online. I'm going to talk about some pain points, some reminders. I will turn my video off when I start the slideshow so you guys aren't distracted by me and I'm not distracted by myself. But this is all about providing you guys with what you need. This is all about answering questions for you. You're obviously here because you want to know maybe there's something maybe you think you're missing. Maybe there's something that you think you could do better. Maybe you haven't even started this process of getting clients yet. I mean, you want to start off on the right foot. So today, once we get started, we got 1 more minute. I'm going to give everybody time here. When we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about how I got started in this business, and then we'll roll right into the training with the slide deck. And then at the end, we'll answer questions. I already got a couple of personal messages before I got started that said, if I join the mentorship and mastery group or the institute, are all of your trainings free? And the answer to that is yes. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But if you are a mentorship and mastery group member, or you are a student of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching, you never have to pay for these trainings ever again. It's part of my gift to the people that are part of my community. And I want you to have everything that you need. When you sign up for those groups, my goal is to deliver. So, all right, we got lots of people popping on. I see lots of familiar names, and I see some new names too. I see lots of students hopping on. Hi, Shannon, Kathy, Georgita, Joan, you guys, awesome. I'm so glad you're here. So it is 12 o'clock. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am Carmen Hunter, and I have in the spring and summer of 2018, I will have 8 years of actually health coaching and working with clients, not health coaching for 6 months and then marketing to health coaches and teaching coaches. I'm still coaching clients. In fact, when I do get approached right now, I have a waiting list because most of my focus does go to coaches, but I still like to keep up my skills and my learnings through working with people. And so in the almost 8 years that I've been coaching, my marketing strategy to clients has been very, very minimal when it comes to expense. So I was training a couple of friends out of my home as a personal trainer. And one of the girls was getting frustrated because she felt like she should be losing weight immediately. And she, 4 weeks in, she was like, I'm not losing weight. I'm gaining weight. I'm tired all the time. My hair is falling out. And having quite a bit of knowledge because I've been studying health and wellness for many years because I was on my own health journey, I started to ask questions. I was asking things about the things I had learned about the thyroid, about the sex hormones, about how she was sleeping and stress and things like that. And the more we started talking about it, she was like, can I just pay you extra for this after we train? That's how I got started health coaching. I realized that the things that I had learned from my own life and the things that I had gone through on my own journey for health and wellness, emotionally, physically, mentally, had great value for other people. And so, my health coaching business was born without a document, without any kind of plan, no system in place. I was basically like, sure, yeah, we can do that. Let me come up with a price or some way to charge you. Like, I didn't even know how to get started with that. And so, my entrepreneurial wheel started spinning back then about just helping her, never mind turning it into an actual real business where I got referrals and testimonials and people were calling me that I'd never heard of. So the first thing I want to say to those of you who think that once you get certified, no matter where you get your education from, that you should get out of the certification, all of a sudden clients everywhere. right? That's what some of you have actually been told. It's one of the marketing strategies for one of the schools that I have heard of, is basically when you get done with us, you'll have lines of people waiting to work for you and with you. And that's just not anything I've ever found to be true. It takes work. And as you're going to see today, it takes a lot more than just desire and passion to help others. It takes a lot of moving parts and pieces to make this business work. There's nothing simple about it or easy about it, because we complicate things, right? So just remember this: you are an entrepreneur first, and then you're a health coach, because you cannot be a health coach that helps other people without having those business pieces in place. So I just wanted to make that comment. It's one of my comments that I seem to be making more and more. You are first an entrepreneur, then you are a health coach, okay? So again, many of you jumped on after I started talking, but we haven't started the real training yet, so don't worry. But I do want to know what your pain points are. Where are you struggling to get clients? What have you tried? All of those things, put it in the chat, put it in the Q&A. This is for you. This training is to help you overcome obstacles. If I do not touch on the training that you need today in my training, ask me the question that you've been waiting to ask. Ask me to help you move past whatever it is you're stuck on. And I'm going to answer that. Okay. So, my motto for the school is that no question goes unanswered, no need goes unmet. And I do my very best to do that in my trainings as well. I'm a very fast talker. So, if you're not a fast listener, you get a replay of this, and you can go back and listen as many times as you want to. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to stop my video, and in a moment, I'm going to check in and actually going to ask Kerrigan to throw me in the chat when you see my screen, so we know that we're all good and we'll get started. Okay. So Kerrigan, I'm going to look to you. And then I will say we're going to do questions and all that good stuff at the very end. And I stop my video again because it's a distraction. I see myself talking sometimes. I'm like, okay, that's getting on my own nerves. All right. So one moment, getting my screen ready. Kerrigan, can you see my screen okay? How to get your next 2 to 3 health coaching clients ASAP. I'm going to check, before I hit play on the slideshow, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see this. You're good. Thank you. Appreciate that so much. And let me move these little windows out and we're going to get rolling. Okay. All right. So again, questions and all of those things for the end, you guys, in the interest of, being efficient with my time and getting to everything I want to get to teaching you, and then also get to everything you guys want to know. We're going to just roll through this slide tech training, and then we are going to do questions and answers at the end. So again, how to get your next 2 to 3 health coaching clients ASAP. The reason I put the as soon as possible on there is because I want to speak to those of you who are saying, well, I'm going to wait until I do this. I'm going to, when I have this, I should be able to get clients. I say as soon as possible because you didn't get certified. You did not get your education. You did not get into this to sit around and wait to help people. So the goal is to get those clients as soon as possible and start working with people and start helping people. So again, I'm the founder of the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. I have almost 8 years of health coaching clients through hundreds and hundreds of chronic diseases and symptoms and problems. You could probably name something and I've either worked with someone with it or I've studied it. And that is not an exaggeration, because when I'm a type AAA personality, and when someone comes to me with a problem, I do all the things I can to investigate and dig and help to find a way to empower them and inspire them to learn what it is that's going on with their life and fix the problems that they have or reach the goals that they have. So as a reminder, everything you learn here today, it's my total disclaimer here, you guys, it's just education. It's based on my experience of over 7.5 years, almost 8 of coaching. Nothing is prescription for your business. Nothing is set in stone for you or your clients or yourselves. Everything that I tell you and talk to you about, I want you to take and make your own as your authentic self. Okay. So if you want more information about terms and conditions, please go to carmenhunterhealth.com and you can read more about it. So how do we even begin? Where do you begin? This is the $1 million question. And so here's the deal, you guys, it depends. That's the answer. And that seems to be an answer for so many things when it comes to health coaching. How do I help my client with this? Well, it depends. Where do I find clients? It depends, but you have to start somewhere, right? So you have some choices here. You can be a person that works locally. You can be a person that works online, or you can be a person that likes to do both. One of the things that I like to suggest to people when they're first getting into the health coaching space, or they're overcoming fears and barriers and just starting to get out into the world of health coaching, is I suggest working locally somehow. Now, whether that's a one-on-one, whether that's one-on-one a month, whether that's teaching one class, whether that's speaking for free. We're going to go over all of that in a minute. But when you get out in your community, it can really help you break down barriers and what you think about yourself and what you think about others and what they may think about you and what you offer. It can really give you that sense of connection, and it can really make you feel like you're doing something great because you're getting that face-to-face time with people, because you get that immediate feedback. Sometimes online, our gratification is a little bit delayed, but working online is so efficient. You can make more money. It can be one of those really rewarding ways to work as well, because if you work with more people at one time, you're getting more testimonials, you're getting more referrals, and so on. Or you can split it in half, which is, I started out totally being local. I had no Facebook groups. I had no Facebook nothing. I was literally word of mouth, completely on referrals. I didn't put out an advertisement. I didn't market at all. I already mentioned to you that it was not something, that I didn't sink $1 into it. I just had, I started with a friend, then I started with her friend and a friend of a friend, and those people talking about, really groundbreaking ideas that they had never heard of about weight. They came to me to personal train and lose weight and put on some muscle. It was a demographic in the, the age 30 to 45. Some of the women were going into perimenopause. And, I really turned things upside down as far as what they truly believed about, their bodies and how to lose weight. I talked about hormones and thyroid and things like that. And we're going to talk about that too, you guys, how to kind of pull people in with the things that you know. So the one thing that is common you have in common, whether you want to work online, I'm sorry, hold on, I got to move this box, you guys, it's distracting me. If you want to work online and you want to work in person with people, you've got to establish the know, like, and trust. It is absolutely 100% important in all areas of your business. So, every day we're becoming more and more disconnected due to the world that we're living in, where everything's going online. But one thing really remains true, that people need other people, right? We need a sense of community. We need each other. We were not put on this earth to live in a bubble by ourselves. And in order to do that, we've got to know, like, and trust the people that we work with and the people we spend our time with, right? So no matter whether you're working online or you're doing local work in your community, you've got to establish this know, like, and trust. And we're going to talk about that further. So this is a quote from The Go Giver by Bob Burg and John David Mann. And it says, all things being equal, people will do business with and refer business to those people they know, like, and trust. That's where this whole thing came from. So just keeping in mind, just put this into layman's terms and everyday terms. Think about the places where some of you, maybe you ladies get your hair done. You've got one place you like to go to. People always joke about the hair person being their therapist. Well, you obviously have developed a know, like, and trust factor with the person you're sitting in a chair, allowing to change something about you that everyone in the world is going to see, right? So think about, that is one of your favorite places to go. Like, and trust that person. More and more coaches are coming on the scene as well, you guys. So establishing that know, like, and trust with particular people is going to be, you're going to be kind of like that hairstylist. You're going to be the person that they refer to, that they like, they trust, and they tell other people about. So let's talk about the know. In a time when there's so much pressure on us to be perfect, be better, look a specific way, and so on, my number one message to you guys is to stay authentic. No matter what you do, you've got to focus on being who you are in this wellness space. People need to know who you are, not who you think they want you to be. So let's take it just a little bit further. Now, let me repeat that. People need to know you, not who you think they want you to be. Because we can develop those stories in our minds. Well, they want someone who's thin. They want someone who looks perfectly healthy. They want someone with clear skin. Those are all stories you're telling yourself that I'm going to encourage you to stop doing. So this is my favorite quote, so much that one of my clients about 6 years ago bought me a plaque that had this on it to hang in my house. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. And, when I first saw this quote, I was on the struggle bus about myself and what I looked like to other people and who I truly was in this wellness space. This is many years ago, that I was getting started. And I thought, well, I'm not perfectly fit, but people are coming to me to exercise. That means I'm going to have to work harder. And it was not in my personality to be a person that worked out 4 to 5 hours a day. It wasn't good for my body. It wasn't good for my mind. But I thought other people thought I should be the epitome of fitness, right? Instead, when I relaxed about that and I just became myself, and people would say, well, didn't you work out today? I'd be like, you know what? Not today. It's not on the menu today. I started to develop real relationships, and people started to resonate with me and relax around me instead of thinking they had to, live up to something that I expected from them or that they expected from me. We really dropped expectations and just let ourselves be. And that's what I want you to do with your clients as well. Because no matter how hard you try, you can really only cover up who you truly are for a short period of time, and it's going to catch up with you. It really is. So why not just be who you are from the very beginning? This is going to be something that really drives people to you, and clients are going to resonate with you just from that alone. So a lot of people are probably saying, I don't even know how to do that. So hold on a second. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here with this little box. Is that a distraction for you guys? It's popping up and down. Maybe you don't even see it, but I see it on my end. Okay, now it's gone again. All right, I'm just going to keep talking. So how to be you. And I know this sounds silly, right? Doesn't that sound silly to have this conversation? Because you're like, how else would I be? Who else would I be? And I'm not saying that you're not being yourself. Many of you are like, I'm totally authentic. I'm comfortable with myself. But the majority of health coaches are not in that space, okay? A lot of coaches struggle with this thought, this idea, because of how you're being marketed to, of the media and all the things that we are being told that we should be, or how we should fit into the industry. And these things are just not true. So be yourself by telling your story. Talk about your passions for this business, right? Talk about what you may struggle with, and that is part of your story. Many times people hold back on the true things about themselves, like, oh, I struggle with my eating. I fall off the wagon and I eat sugar or whatever. Maybe, you've forgotten why you got in this business, and you've forgotten to share that you're excited about helping others. Be personal with people. And I'm not talking about too personal, but talk a little bit about, maybe about your family, about the things that you enjoy in your own personal life. Stop trying to look and be perfect, because there is no such thing. You know what the definition for me of perfection is? Imperfection. When we're imperfect, that's the perfect way to be, because it's really one of those things when we try to meet up to all of these other things, it's a stressor and it's not reality. So stop trying to look and be perfect. Be real. Go sans makeup. Like, don't wear makeup. Wear a hat, right? Kerrigan knows that I love hats. When I don't get to a day where I can actually do anything with this hair, it's a hat for me. And I just relax, because I know that when I'm delivering information and content, that's what people care about. It's not necessarily, how good I look or how nice I'm dressed or whatever. So yes, we want to make a good impression, and it's important. It is important, but what it really ultimately isn't more important to do is to be yourself, tell your story, and be authentic. All right. So something to consider. This is something that came to my attention last week, I think it was, when someone said, I don't think I want to put my personal profile out where my clients can find me. How do I hide that? Then a bunch of comments came in from other coaches, and they were like, oh, just make your own business page or create a profile that's not you. But see, I'm not really all about that, because that's kind of going away from who you are. So, I don't mind if my clients see my personal profile. There's really not anything out there I'm putting out in the world that I wouldn't mind to share with them anyway. And that's also something to think about is, what are you putting on social media that you would be ashamed for your clients to see, that you want to create a whole other profile that may or may not reflect who you are truly. So I just wanted to throw this out there to consider, because it came up more than one time last week, and I thought it might be something to pay attention to. All right. So likes, the like factor. It doesn't just apply to being, working online. It also applies to out in our communities, where we live in our community, at the gyms we go to, the grocery stores, the people that we hang out with, the Pampered Chef parties, or wherever you live outside of your home. The like factor, feels super important to a lot of us. And, sometimes, we can get caught up in that. Someone may not like your comment, or you're looking for that approval. And that can be like one of those sabotage things. We're going to get into that later on, but I want to just make a real good point here that you can't force the like. You can't force it. It's not possible, because not everyone is going to like you. That's impossible, but it's also okay. So accept this early on, and this will make your life so much easier. If you're chasing the likes, or you're chasing, worrying about whether people like you or not, that is energy it's being wasted. I want you to spend your time on other things like building your business. Okay. And let's talk about the haters real quick, because there's going to be some. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be some haters. The reality is you're going to attract people who just want to argue with you about your views, your opinions, and sometimes even facts that you present, which can be one of those things where you can throw your hands in the air and be like, it's a fact, it's in PubMed, or it's in this particular publication that's, highly esteemed, and they're still going to argue with you. Okay. So here's the thing that I've actually found over the years since being really involved on Facebook and social media is that haters can increase your like factor. So let me tell you how that works. So haters, when they don't, when they make these opinions and they're trying to call you out, it can be really super tempting to give in to those who have high opinions about the things you post, share, and talk about. There's a lot of miserable people out there, and sometimes their sole job is to find you and your content and get you riled up about the things that they think are wrong or that they think sucks about it, right? Even locally at some events, someone may come up to you and want to debate with you and talk to you, but the rules are the same, whether you're in person or you're online. So this is just an example. I had a lady one time that her husband was always asking me questions about what I do, and he was always interested. And she found out that he had been asking me questions. So she hunted me down on Facebook, liked my business page, got into my Facebook group, and started arguing with me about diabetes. Now, I'm not a diabetes expert. I have a lot of great resources and I know a lot about it. So, I posted some information on there to help her understand why my opinion was as it was. And, she argued back with me back and forth. Then I find out about a week later that this is a woman who had to have the fire department come and help her leave her house to go to an emergency room appointment at the hospital because she was so obese and overweight, and something had happened to her feet. And it was just a horrible thing. When I learned about it, it made me sad, but it also made me feel better because I didn't engage in the debate. But what I was able to do with that was to share information for other people who were interested in the topic I was talking about. So even though she kept going on and on about it, I didn't engage in the debate. So don't debate with the hate. Use words that show things that are your opinion, empathize with someone, and also present facts that are both conventional and functional, and thank them for getting involved in the conversation. And then you'll watch underneath when this is over, you're kind of shutting down the debate, the conversation, the person who wants to argue. You're going to see people who may have been following the thread, and they're going to start asking questions about you, and they're going to ask questions about what you know. So you're actually increasing your credibility, and you're increasing your likes, and you're getting people to see that you are professional, you know your stuff, and you have great information to share with them. Okay. So don't let the haters get you too frustrated. It's going to happen. Just find a way to overcome that, and don't debate with the haters. Okay. All right. So the trust factor is probably the most important part. And this is why, okay? This is a quote that I thought was really pretty powerful. So any professional you work with who is not committed enough to your success to support and encourage your decision to work with the most qualified professional for any specific task isn't someone you should continue to trust. Let me break this down for you and what this means for you. So if someone comes to you, let's say they've got a history of mental illness, they've got a lot of physical, ailments and things happening. And they're saying, I don't even know if you can help me or not. I've got this, and this going on. And they give you a little bit of a rundown. You do a 15-minute consultation, and you can help with a lot of the things that person has happening with them. But you also know there might be an area that isn't your expertise. Let's just use the mental health for one thing. That's not something, of course, health of any kind is not something we mess around with. But mental health in itself is a place where we don't even want to dip our toe in without referral. So what that means is this: if you have that conversation with this person and you said to them, I have 7 essentials that I focus on. We're going to talk about your food, your fun, your addressing any traumas, all of those things. But I highly would suggest that you look at working with a mental health professional to dig further into the things that you've talked to me about. And I have some great referrals for you. That means that you worry and care, or you care enough about that person to know that that you have something that can help them, but you also know that something might be outside your scope, and you are not afraid to support them by outsourcing them to someone who can. So just remember this: you are committed to that client and to their success, enough to support and encourage their decision to work with the most qualified professional for that particular task of mental health. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm hoping that this is making sense, because I encourage people to refer out and outsource to other people. It's not always a bad thing. It can complement your relationship with your clients. It can show them that you know what you're talking about. So again, if it means that someone's asking for help in an area you're not skilled or qualified to help them in, then finding them a resource that can help them is important, and it can really boost your business, and it can get you even more referrals. So again, saying that this is not something I'm qualified or able to help you with, but I can help you with these other things, and I can support your decision to work with someone else for that particular part of your relationship. It's not going to push business away from you, I promise you. Because what could happen is they go find a therapist that works on the mental health, and the therapist says to them, you really need to work on your food. That's such a big part of this. And then they're going to come back to you and be like, all right, I need a team. And that truly is what we need. Okay, clients need that. We need that. So admitting you don't know, this is also another thing that increases that trust factor. And it's probably going to go against everything you've been told. But admitting that you don't know something can be a really big trust gainer, you guys. There is a trick how to say this and still get the client. So I'm going to give you an example. So say somebody says something to you and you've never heard of it before, or you're like, oh my gosh, that makes me nervous to even think about trying to figure out what that means. You might get a little bit sweaty, your heart rate might go up, because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to lose this person as a client because I can help them with so many other things. So you might say something like this. You know, that's not something I'm too familiar with, but I love to research and learn new information about health. So let's learn this together. I can help you navigate the overwhelm, find you reliable resources, and we both can learn. It's a win-win. So even if you're saying to them, I really don't know anything about that particular thing, I can help you with so much more, and we can learn more about this together, and I can help you kind of focus in and narrow down the things that you don't need to learn that are overwhelming you, okay? All right, so just remember this though, you know, everything takes time. Everything takes time. There is absolutely, you've got to give yourself grace. You've got to give yourself patience, because even if you have all of this, you know, passion inside of you, it's going to take some time to get organized and put it out to the world. So how do we do that? We start with friends and family. I really think that this is a no-brainer. And that's another reason why I think social media is, Facebook can be super powerful on social media, is asking those people that we are already connected with to connect us with people that they might think can benefit from what we know. So how do you do that locally? Couple suggestions. Get postcards made. I'm really big on postcards, and people who know me and have been to my trainings know that I just think they're powerful, because business cards are small and they're very disposable. Postcards that you can put all of your information on the front. Maybe you're offering a discount to something. You know what? Those are something that's harder to stick in your pocket and wash, and they're harder to throw away, and they hold a lot more information. And Vistaprint makes some really gorgeous postcards, and they're not that expensive. Ask your church, your mom's groups, your organization. So it's not just, family, it's also friends and people out in the community. Ask them to host you for a health party. Tell them what you do. Maybe you have like a circle share at a group, a mom's group or something, and you talk about what you do outside of being a mom or outside of your church. Have a really nice way to tell people, I'm a health coach that focuses on helping people through a whole food lifestyle, or, whatever your so-called elevator speech or comment is, know what it is, be ready to expand on it, and always carry something with you that you can hand out, okay? So online, you would post a link to your business or your group URL if you've got a group. Create a note in your personal page telling your friends and family about your business and asking them to share it, right? Do a live asking them to share it or join your group. We've got a video camera, we've got a button, we've got, we can hop on in any moment and say, listen, you know what, I'm stepping out on a limb here. I'm not usually comfortable with speaking to people live, but I have opened a group, and I'm going to be sharing so much great information about how people can live a healthier lifestyle. And I would love for you guys to share it. This is the URL to the group. I'll put it in the comments. Please pass it on to anyone. Or when you create your note, be really specific and tell them you can copy and paste this. You can share this with anyone you want. But always ask for shares. And I always believe in groups. Groups are the place where you can communicate with people. You can have conversation. There's a lot less Facebook, on there monitoring what you're doing with your groups as opposed to your business page. So, just make sure you have a place where people can come and they can actually have access to you. And I don't mean like, sessions in the group, but access to asking you questions and getting to know you and things like that. And I also recommend setting the group to closed and not private so that the public can actually see that the group exists, but they cannot read the posts. Another way to go about doing this is to collaborate, work with others in the wellness space. The word collaborate is not the same as competition. A lot of people think, well, I don't want to collaborate with people who are my competition. Competition is a waste of thought process in this wellness space because there are a million more sick people out there than there are health coaches. We think it takes a village to raise children, right? But it takes a village to help other people, and it takes a village to help each other as well. So I want to encourage you to think about collaboration with other practitioners, other coaches, doctors, and other people trying to learn how to help other people. How do you do this locally? Ask like-minded businesses. So do you have chiropractors, massage therapists? Do you have, people who sell supplements, wellness spaces, anybody that may, complement what you offer? Do meet and greets. Maybe ask one of those people to host you. Say, could I do a 45-minute meet and greet with your people on a Saturday morning? Or do you have any events coming up that I could join and maybe introduce myself for 5 or 10 minutes? Set up a meeting with the owners of businesses. And this doesn't have to be a like-minded business. This could be someone who maybe has, multiple employees, and maybe they have an incentive program for people to take care of themselves, but they have no program in place. It's also a way to get into a corporation. Corporate people are setting up wellness programs all over the country, right? So set up a meeting with an owner of the business and be ready to walk in with a proposal or, an offering or just an introduction of who you are and what you offer. Postcards, brochures of information. You can actually walk into any business that you think would be relevant to what you're trying to do. Leave it there and then make a follow-up phone call. Maybe get a good time from the front desk person. Say, when would be the best time to call and make a follow-up call to speak to the owner? Ask what you can do for the business. Ask what you can do for them. Okay. You're not going to walk in and say, hey, I'm a health coach and I need exposure. You're going to walk in and say, hey, I'm a health coach that's looking to complement your business. Would you be interested in speaking with me further about how we can both make a bigger impact in our community? Right? That's not competition. That's complementing. Ask for space and offer free talks. So another thing you can do is, maybe you find an office where they have extra space and on the weekends they're not using specific rooms. Maybe they have a conference room. You can say to them, I would love to bring some people in here. Maybe I could, rent your space, or maybe they'll allow you to use it for free. And you can do an event on Eventbrite and invite people to meet you at that space. That business owner then gets exposure by you bringing other people in. And it also adds value to the people that he's helping as well. Okay. All right. And again, like business cards, dropping off, small, disposable. Business cards to me, every time I think of a business card, I think about a Starbucks billboard. When they used to allow all of those business cards just hanging off, or those countertops at the small businesses where there's 75 business cards and they're all over the place. Just to me, not a great way to spend your money or a great way to advertise. Okay, so online, reach out to other practitioners and ask. Is there any way that I can complement your business? Is there anything that you're looking for support in? Are you an online practitioner, but you still got a brick and mortar business and you want some support online to help, run a group or answer questions? Whatever it is that you are wanting to offer for your business, when you reach out to other people, you're asking how to complement and add value to what they do, but you also keep in mind what you want to offer as well. So you wouldn't go to some, car dealer and say, can you help me, find clients? Because I'm here to help you. Like, what are you going to help them with? Are you going to clean their cars while you're talking about health, right? Keep it relevant. Reach out to people that, online that would be someone that maybe they're looking for support. Okay. Complement other health coaches with work that isn't, exactly what you do. Maybe you've got a health coach. And I love doing this. I've got health coaches working in the Institute. I've got health coaches that have created training for the school on hormones and energy and things like that. It's not what I do. It's not what I want to do, but it's important enough to me that health coaches have those trainings. So I'm bringing those people in and allowing them to be a collaboration for my business. It's the same type of thing for your business. So an example of what this might look like online is maybe you're a coach that focuses on digestive health. Hang on, let me get a sip of tea here, guys. So you're focusing on digestive health. But then you've got someone in there that says, I'm going through menopause, and while my digestion is working and it's getting better, I still need hormonal support. And maybe that's not an area you want to focus on. Find a coach that might come in and speak to your people, and ask them, would you be a guest? And then another thing you can do is be a guest for a friend on a webinar. Maybe there's a coach on there that focuses on hormones and they don't focus on digestion, but they know how important it is to good hormone health. And you can say, I'd love to speak to your people. Is it okay if would you like to host me as a guest? The goal is to provide value, offer value, receive value, whatever you're doing. It's all about what you can do to help other people that also complements what you do. Ask your friends and family if you can speak to their people in a live video. So, maybe you hop on and do a live on a group page or somewhere else. Ask for affiliates. Affiliate marketing is literally just blanketing the United States. It's everywhere. Everyone is asking for affiliates. Affiliate marketing and affiliate work is when someone, like I have affiliates for the Institute, so I'll speak from that because it's what I know. But I'm also an affiliate for other people all over the country, right? So for people who are affiliates for me, I'm saying to them, hey, I need walking billboards. I need people out there marketing for me. I will pay you to be that person. You signed up. If you signed up to help me promote the Institute in our grand opening, you got 40% of the enrollment rate. I mean, that's a pretty nice payout, but I was willing to pay it because I want the word spread about what we're doing in the Institute. So ask for people to help promote your programs and classes and things like that. But again, always, always, always offer that value, okay? One thing you can ask other people when you're trying to collaborate is say, are you wanting to expand your reach and improve client results? And maybe we can create a team or a triage of care working together. So that's, that's kind of one way you can word things. So ask people what they need. Doesn't this sound just so simple? Like, how do you know what your clients need? How do you get clients? Well, you get clients by knowing what they need. What do they want? What do they need? What is speaking to them? How do you do that locally? Well, you can ask someone to host you, and it might look like this. I've got people at my gym, and they all know that this is what I do. Like most of the people that know me well know I'm a health coach. If I was still working actively to get out and work in my community, I might say, hey, Jessica, why don't you host me one night for free? Let's have some girls over. I'll buy the food, and let's talk about what I do, and let's get the word out. And she'd be like, heck yeah, that'd be awesome. Grab some wine, grab some snacks, have some friends over. You could get bold and go out into the community where you live, again, grocery stores and places that you live, and just talk to people. I always tell the story about when I was little, and when Braden was little, my son, and I would be in grocery line, and I could see him over there just being, please, please, please don't ask her about health. Like he just wanted to go because any opportunity I had to help people, I was doing it. In the grocery store aisles, I remember looking at something in particular, someone watching me read a label. I put a box in my cart, and she walked over and said, you seem to know what you're looking at. Can you help me? Absolutely. And here's a postcard, and that's one way you can just get the word out. Just be open, be personal, and talk to your people in your community. Hit the pavement. And that is literally hit the pavement. Get your postcards, your flyers, your brochures. Maybe you have something free you want to give away. Maybe you're into essential oils, you want to do samples. Go to CrossFit boxes, go to privately owned gyms, stop by natural grocery stores, whatever it is, but get out there, spend a couple hours just knocking on doors, walking in, being friendly, and saying, this is what I do and this is who I am. Okay? Online, do a poll in your group. It's right at the top. I actually did a how-to video to do a poll in the group because it's so helpful. Ask your people in the poll. When you do the poll, you can simply say, what are your biggest health struggles? And then you can create some options for them. Digestion, hormones, sleep, whatever. And then they can actually add their own options. So this is a great way to find out, what do people need? Now, this is a free group that you're running to find out what are people's pain points. And the reason you're doing this is because in order to get clients, you have to know what they need from you. So do a live, ask them to post in the comments. Tell me, what are you dealing with? Let's talk about these things. Let's get a little bit personal. Tell me what your biggest health concern is, right? Being personal, being live is really, really powerful now. Everybody's all about the videos. Do a survey through something like SurveyMonkey and post in your group or business page, asking questions. Offer something free for your most in-depth answer. So if somebody really goes into depth about their health problems or whatever, maybe you give them a free 30-minute or an hour-long consultation. Send an email to your list and ask them what they need. This is really, it all goes back to asking people, what's important to you? What do you struggle with? What do you need from me? Because you can speak all day, to the things that you think are important, but you're not going to get clients if you're not speaking to what they think is important and what they need. Then give them what they need, right? So create the content, the offers, the classes, and the services according to the information that you've gathered, according to their needs and their requests that you learn from asking. So let's go back. You do a poll in a group. You ask people, what do you need? What do you need me to do to help you get better in your health? And let's say you get an overwhelming response of, I need to work on my digestion. Well, then maybe you create that class that speaks to digestion and you post it in that group. And you get a bunch of people that sign up because they told you, I'm struggling with digestion, right? You wouldn't do a poll, find out that they need help with digestion, then offer a class on hormones when no one asked for that. You've got to keep that in mind. If you want to get clients, you have to speak to what they need after you find out what it is. It's never, ever about what you think they need. It's about what they need. Ask for referrals and get over feeling weird about it, okay? Word of mouth is still the best way to increase business personally, locally, and online, no matter what. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Every business in this world, if they're smart, says, tell people about us. Tell people about where you get your tires changed. Tell people about the grocery store that always gives a great discount and the nice, bag boy that walks you out, right? That's what happens. We get on Facebook all the time, and there's now that thing called recommendations, right? Looking for a painter for my house. Well, you're going to get a million comments in your community or your area that tells you about the painter. So why is it okay if we're out there asking for these things? Why do we feel weird about saying, hey, if you felt like I helped you and you're ready to give me a testimonial, could you please, consider doing some referrals for me? You might even have a referral program. There's nothing wrong with asking for referrals. So you got to move past that being a problem or a concern. Hold a free event. Again, we're talking about how do you get clients locally and online? How do you do this? Hold a free event. How do you do it locally? You hold a scheduled, regular, free Q&A. That may look like renting space for a few hours a week to hold group talks, classes, seminars, whatever. Maybe you do that in a library space, a hotel conference room, or whatever works in your area. You can use Eventbrite to schedule, market, and hold that free event. So for those of you who have been told you need a landing page, you need a sales page, you need all of these things, you don't. You don't need that to get started. I always say start in the most physically, emotionally, and financially less stressful way when you're getting started in this business. And Eventbrite is a great way to, they're going to take some money if you do it for pay, but for free, it's free. Okay. So doing it locally, having that free event, make sure you guys follow your boundaries though. If you've only got, 45 minutes once a week, then do it 45 minutes once a week. It doesn't have to be that often, but make it a high value conversation, a high value class. Make sure you have some incentive. Maybe you hand something out or you offer something for people spending their time coming to you, having snacks that are there or whatever. Just, give them a reason to show up. All right, online. So do a live Q&A on your business page. Really, literally say on there, every Monday at 11 o'clock, I'm here to answer your questions. I'm going to be right here live. So bring it to me. Bring me your hardest health questions, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help you out. We're going to do a 45-minute conversation or 30-minute or whatever you're comfortable with. Hold a webinar. Do a free webinar. When you sign up to do on Zoom, it's very minimal as far as cost is concerned when it comes to doing a meeting or a webinar until you start upping your attendees. So holding a webinar could be something that you do like this, like do a slide deck about whole food, do a slide deck about sleep that talks about the very basic things, and then you can actually even lead into a paid program at the end of whatever you're doing. So if you do a live talk locally, have something they can sign up for that is leading to something that you are offering for money. And if you're doing it online, at the very end, offer something that you're going to do for money. Say, if you enjoyed what I did today, talking to you about whole food and explaining this, join me for this class. It's whatever, $19, $17, $27. In 2 weeks, I'm holding a class. It's going to take this even deeper. If you're interested, sign up or, opt in or send me an email. However it is you want people to find you, but that can lead to a paid program. Host someone who brings value to your people. Again, we talked about this a few minutes ago. Is there a coach or a person? It could even be a doctor. What if there's a chiropractor in your community that's like, I'm trying to get the word out about what I do, And let's say you've got people in your group that are, you know, they strong believers in alternative and holistic health, and they would love to ask a chiropractor questions. Hop on a webinar and host him and let them ask questions of that person. You're just adding value. You're not sending them anywhere that's going to take them away from you. You're not going to do what a chiropractor does. He's not going to do what a health coach does. There's nothing wrong with collaborating and hosting someone that can give value to your people. Find the social media platform you feel most comfortable in and then live there, okay? When I say I live in my Facebook community, I live there. They know that they can tag me. They know I'm going to do a live in there. They know that that's where I want to be. You know, that's where they paid it to get their access to me. It is like having access to me every single day. And it's where I want to be. So Facebook is my social media platform. Maybe yours is in Instagram. Maybe yours is Pinterest. Maybe you don't know what yours is and you think you have to be everywhere. Let me encourage you not to be everywhere. Put your toe in every little pot on each one of those. Figure out where it feels the warmest. Then start there. But do not try to spread yourself across social media unless you've got someone helping you with that stuff. And that's the outsourcing part of your business that's going to come later once you've got some clients, or if you want a budget to do that now. So I've got someone building my Instagram account because I don't have time to be there and I don't want to be there, but I know it's important for my business and I know that I can find clients there. So just find that one place, start with that. Writing and blogging. Oh my goodness. This is one of the biggest topics where everyone says, oh, I have to blog and I hate to blog. Oh, I hate to write. And everyone says you have to write. So let's talk a little bit about it. So locally, you know, if you're going to write for free ad space. And this is something I did at the very, very end of, I guess it's been about 3 years ago now, where I was like, you know, maybe I'm going to put a little bit of word out and tell people that I'm still working with clients, even though I'm doing other things. So I asked my local magazine, could I write about health and get some ad space in return? And she was happy to do that. You can also pay for an article to be run. You can be a guest writer for your newspaper, or you can ask if they allow for editorials. Now here locally, our newspaper it's not obsolete yet, but they do still hand out, you know, the physical newspaper, and there's an editorial space there where people can write in for free on a topic. So I encourage you to call your local newspaper. And if they do it online, you're going to get exposure online as well. Write for a practitioner's newsletter. Maybe there's a chiropractor out there, or a massage therapist, or a Reiki energy worker, or someone like that needs content for their newsletter. Well, happy to write a little 500 piece for you if I can put my content information in there where people can find me and they can contact me. So you've got to step outside the box that it's all about one particular way of reaching people. Okay, let's see here. Online, so harder, definitely harder, because there's 1,000 million more people out there that we're trying to reach. But yes, you can blog about it. But if you don't want to blog about it and you rather do videos, then vlog about it, right? I'd rather do a video, honestly, you guys. I'd rather do a 6-minute video blog and then to sit down and write something. It's not time efficient for me. I love to write when I have time, but videos are faster. You can also get a guest to blog for you. Find someone that has content that is relevant for your audience and ask them, say, I'm trying to increase, some traffic. I'm trying to get clients. Can you, do a guest blog for me on whatever topic you think is relevant? If you do like to write, be a guest. So not only can you get a guest, but be a guest. And here's the thing, make sure you can put your contact information if you are a guest on someone's blog. You have to ask for that permission, but say, hey, is it okay if I include my information so people can contact me? Always lead to your website or a URL that invites people into your world. So whether you live on Facebook, whether you don't have a website or you do, whatever it is, wherever you are, always drive people to that particular URL that tells people where to find you. Don't forget that part. So doing a live video on Facebook about an upcoming program, but not having a URL to give to them to find you, or an opt-in, doesn't make any sense at all. They've got to find a place and a way to contact you or opt in for whatever it is you're offering, whether it's fee or whether it's services, classes, whatever it may be. Just don't forget that part. All right, the list, the elusive list. Everyone talks about the list. And so, I know that most of you know what a list is. An email list is, where we provide value after someone's given us permission to send them information. Maybe this looks like an opt-in on your website. Maybe it's a landing page that, for something you're selling. Maybe it's a webinar sign-up sheet, whatever. Locally, it's harder to build your list and it requires more effort and it's a slower go, but it's not impossible and it is important to still focus on gathering those email addresses. So how do you do that? So if you're a person that is out in the community and locally working, take a sign-up sheet wherever you hold events. Have something, and don't just rip a piece of paper out of your notebook. Print something decent, on your computer that says, name, email, biggest health concern, and ask them to fill it out. You can have a computer set up at your meet and greets or your events or whatever health fairs or wherever you are set up, so people can just pop in there and opt into whatever you're offering. Have the window pulled up, tell them you'd love their email and you'd like to send them something valuable. Again, collaborate, ask for support locally. Maybe you even say to them, would you mind to consider, putting the sign-up sheet for my information out with your clients where they can get more information about, food or sleep or whatever it is you focus on. You can also do a short survey on site, which means maybe you print something up, you get some ideas from SurveyMonkey, you print it up, and you have a little stack of surveys. And just make sure, because here's the thing, everybody loves to tell other people about themselves and share stories, but sometimes they need to be encouraged. So a little short 5 question survey about, I don't know, what's your favorite food? What's your biggest health problem? What do you wish were different in your life? And then make sure at the end of it that you have an email so that you can gather their email for your list. Also, let them know that whenever you're getting an email, let them know they're going to be added to your list and you're going to provide them some value, but you're not going to spam them. Okay, really important to say that. All right, I need another drink of tea. Okay, all right, so online. Your blog needs to lead to your site. So what you can do is to put your blog out there in your groups and then say for more or see more or read more at the end of that, they have to click that link to go out to your website. And then out there, maybe you have a pop-up, your opt-in is right there. They get to your site to read more. Maybe there's a pop-up that they can put their email in right away and have a great opt-in offer. So that could be a pop-up. It could be a sidebar on your website. But have an opt-in that is relevant to what you've learned that your people need. So if people have told you, ultimately they have, they're focused on hormones, they're focused on thyroid, and you put an opt-in out there about how to make brownies. That's probably not a great option because everyone likes brownies, but you know what I'm saying? Like put something that's relevant to what you're finding that your audience needs. Have a sale. Have a flash sale. Offer something incredibly crazy. Like I just did, $2,000 off the Institute enrollment was one of my best, sales and attention getters. $2,000 off of the Institute was pretty freaking impressive for my team and I to pull off. So don't be afraid to discount your stuff and do a flash sale. And that just means you can say this is only going to be, available for a specific amount of time. Maybe you're offering 40% off of a one-time service. So if you're working one-on-one with people, you can say, I have 5 spaces available to do 5 one-on-ones at half the cost. This is my gift to you this holiday season. Grab your spot, grab your intake form, and let's get to work. Something like that. You've got to be creative. It's got to be relevant to what you want to offer to people and what they need from you. Again, hold a webinar. Webinars are powerful, you guys. They're a place to interact, get information. You're providing value. Join a relevant community and offer value there. But I want to say this too. If you're joining groups out there of people that are not well or people that are, looking for help, you need to check those groups' policies. Don't just automatically be putting your information out and, saying, PM me for more information about, acne, or PM me for more information about this. You want to be, considerate of the person who's running that community in that group, and you want to follow policy so you don't get kicked out and you look unprofessional. The other thing you can do is hold a raffle. So rafflecopter.com is a great way to hold a raffle and post it in your groups where people are going to give you their email because they want to win something you're offering. And that's another great way to build your list. All right, let's get into the reminders and the miscellaneous because there's a few things to touch on that we haven't talked about so far. You got to decide, you got to commit, and then you're going to be successful, period. No matter what it is, you're going to decide to do a specific thing. You've got to commit to do it, and you're going to see success. So even if it's, I'm going to decide that I'm going to do a live video, I'm committed to do it at 12 o'clock every Monday. Let's say you get 2 people on the first Monday and it doesn't feel like success to you. I'm telling you 2 people is success. No people can be success. If you decided and you committed to do the video and you followed through, that's success. And the more you do things, the more successful you're going to be. You've got to be consistent, and you've got to be able to handle, the things that you might set yourself up for as how you feel about disappointment. If you didn't get enough people to sign up for your group or whatever, okay, you've got to drop those things, decide, commit, and succeed. So the niche, I want to speak to this briefly. Those of you who know me really well know that I don't believe you need a niche to work in this business. And I think it's a way that really puts people in a corner and can really reduce the clients that want to work with you. So no, I don't think you need one. If you have a heartbeat and you have skin and you breathe, you have a potential client, okay? They are potential clients. Human beings are potential clients. And the reason I want to push this home to you is because I have a lot of clients, coaches and clients that I mentor that say to me, well, I don't even know who I'm talking to, so I haven't even started to market yet. Well, let me tell you this. If someone has a health problem of any kind, you're qualified to help them if you know how to do it and you know how to have a consistent approach and a general approach. So if someone came to you and said to you, I've been struggling with this back pain, no one's able to help me. I'm literally just, all I can do now is walk. I can't exercise. No one's able to even explain to me why it's there. No lab tests show up with a problem. And let's say that you say, well, I work with people with food problems, not people with back problems. Well, you as a person who works in whole food knows that food can cause inflammation in the body, knows that it can cause body pain anywhere in the body. Why would you say to that person, I don't work on back pain with people with back pain, I'm sorry. You can say to them, these are the things that I am able to help my clients with and that I focus on. This is what I've learned as time has gone on, that inflammation in the body can show up anywhere. Elbow pain, back pain, stomach pain, head pain, migraines, whatever. I would love to have a free conversation with you for let's do a 15-minute consultation. Let's look at exactly what's happening here and let's set up a plan to get you feeling better. See? So you're not saying, no, I don't work with people with back pains. No, I don't work with people with hormone problems. No, I don't work with people with digestive issues. Every human being needs the same things to get well. We all need those 7 essentials that I talk about constantly: the whole food, the sleep, stress perception, addressing trauma, safe movement, fun, spirituality. They're all relevant as long as you're a human being. So the niche, do you need one? No, but you need to know that you can help anyone with any problem, and you need to market yourself as such. So I did a webinar called No Niche, No Problem. It's out floating about in my YouTube channel. So subscribe out there and you can watch that for a big lengthy explanation of the niche. But let's move on to what else we can do. So you can offer free services in exchange for testimonials. Now, you're going to hear, never give your stuff away. No one takes it seriously if you give it away for free. I disagree with that in a lot of areas. And one of the reasons why I disagree with that in health coaching is because I've seen it succeed over and over and over again. Since I started health coaching, I have always done something or worked with someone or offered something for free when it comes to working with people. But what I ask for from them is a testimonial and a commitment. They have to sign my client agreement. They have to agree to the commitment agreement for themselves and with me. They have to keep me posted on their progress and how they're feeling and things like that. And we go through the entire process like they're a client. They fill out the intake form that's 22 pages long. They do the second, third, fourth, final exit intake. And then they do the video or written testimonial for me. I don't think I've even had one person that has failed to take the steps to find success in some way that I gave something to for free. So it is a powerful way to do that. Now, whether it's one person a month, one person every 3 months, whatever you feel right about, it's a way for you to get the word out about what you do and for them to start talking to other people and getting you referrals. Just because that person gets free service from you doesn't mean that the 10 people they send your way get free service. You tell them straight up, anyone that comes from you gets 10% off, right? Again, a referral program, maybe you say to them, for every client you send my way, I will get you a $20 gift card to Amazon or whatever it may be. You can set up a referral program like that. So I just want to make sure that people know that this can be a really powerful way for building that client list. But you have to be seen. It doesn't matter where you are, online or locally. You have got to pound the pavement. You've got to get on and do live videos. You've got to create videos and load them into YouTube. You've got to be a real presence on social media that you feel comfortable in. Whatever that looks like, you've got to do that. So just know that there's no way of getting around that. You cannot hide behind a screen and not let people know, like, and trust you and expect to get clients. So let's talk about ads, because of course that's a way to get clients, but ads equal expense. So if you're doing this online, you're looking at Facebook ads, Twitter, Google AdSense, etc. Here's one thing I want to say though, if it is something that you feel that you have to spend a bunch of time learning to do, I would outsource the ad part. It's just a lot more than I would even care to get into. And so I've outsourced it. And also this, if you don't know algorithms and how these things work, you could think you've got it nailed and the next day something changes, okay? So locally, newspapers, magazines, radios, billboards, etc. But again, expense. So just remember, referral and word of mouth, best, most efficient and effective, cost-effective way to get clients. Oh, the search engine online, search engine optimization. So for those of you who see the SEO and you don't know what it is, it's basically the process of affecting the online visibility of a website, web page, web search engine, so on and so forth. Often referred to as natural, organic, or earned results. So in general, basically what they're saying, the higher you are ranked on the results page, and the more frequently a website appears in the search results list, et cetera, okay? That's optimizing your search engine. And that's something that if you have a website or a webmaster, that's something that they would be able to work on for you. So make sure that they are, optimizing your SEO. Let's talk about this. This is the miscellaneous right here. Sabotage stories that coaches tell themselves. You are not good enough. These are stories you're telling yourselves that are preventing you from getting clients. I'm telling you that this is absolutely happening because I see it every day. And I also had some of these same problems that I was sabotaging my business as well. So stories you might be telling yourself: you are not good enough. You do not know enough, which is absolutely not true. I'm still unwell. How can I help other people? I cheat on my food too often, or other limiting belief you've got. I don't exercise. I don't this or that. I am a fraud. I will sound stupid on a live video. I am afraid I will say something wrong. I am afraid I won't know what their health issue actually is. Have any of you guys told yourself these things? Are you telling yourself these things right now? Because when you tell yourself these self-limiting messages, you are in essence, and I know this may be a little woo-woo for some of you, but you are putting it out to the world that you are not ready for those clients to come to you. This is a mindset problem that you have to overcome to be successful. So I'm going to give you your first little permission slip to drop all of those ideas that you're not good enough and you don't know enough and that you have to be perfectly healthy and that you're going to sound stupid and all of those things, okay? Permission slip to drop those beliefs and find a different way to think. All right, talk about your prices. Are you charging too much? Is that why people aren't looking at you? Are you charging too much for your experience? Like saying that you, maybe you're charging $350 a month and you're just brand new. Are you charging too little? Maybe you have experience and you're not putting your worth out there. And so, people aren't interested, but they know that you've been talking about health a long time, but you're only charging a small amount of money. Why weren't you charging more? Do you even know how to structure pricing? That's an important thing to have. Before you get a client, you should have a fees and services list put together that you can email to them or hand out. Do you list your prices online? And did you know this can also sabotage your business and sabotage you getting clients? Because here's my true belief and experience. If you have prices out there on your website, people may go out there and be all interested in what you offer and who you are and what you do. They might see that price and be like, oh, no way. That's too expensive, right? That could be a turnoff. You may not ever even know that that's what a turnoff for you getting clients. Get that free consultation booked. Have a conversation, let them get to know, like, and trust you a little bit. Then send your fees and services prices to them by email. Okay. Once someone gets a taste of who you are and what you have to offer, they're going to be once they get the price, they'll be like, man, that conversation was that was great. She was dialed in. She sounds like she knows what she can do to help me. It's going to be worth that $375 investment. I'm in, as opposed to seeing the investment, saying, forget it, because they don't know you like you or trust you in any way, and moving on to finding someone else that probably can't do as good of a job as you can. Okay. So I do recommend removing prices for services offline. Now, if you're selling something online, passive income, ebooks, things like that, those are fine to leave your prices on online. And it's also something that you can have your hands out of the pot a little bit and create some passive income. So consider your mindset. Are you only focused on health-related content and learning? If you're a person that is completely absorbing yourself and learning about doing all the summits and all of these courses and all these classes on health conditions and problems and symptoms and so on, what are you doing to nurture those people out there that are looking to work with you? How are you out there? Are you talking to them about these things? Are you having conversations? Or are you just really submerged in learning on health related content? Is that all you're doing? Because you've got to move out of that. You already know enough. Get outside of that thought process and move on to something different. Do you truly believe you deserve to get paid for your knowledge? Or are you a person that thinks, I should be doing this for free because I have the knowledge and I just want to help people. I feel guilty for taking money for people when they're sick. Well, do you think that hospitals and doctors and big pharma feel guilty for taking money in a conventional way and in sometimes an unethical way when people are sick? They don't. Okay, they don't. You're offering service and value and hope and inspiration and empowerment, and you deserve to be paid for that knowledge. So you've got to move past that mindset. Are you treating this health coaching business as a hobby? In other words, I call it a health coach hobbyist. Are you a person when someone says, hey, can I ask you a quick question? I know you're a health coach. Are you that person that turns around and then says, oh yeah, I know all about cholesterol. What are you wanting to know? Well, my doctor says my cholesterol is high at 215 and I should take a statin. Okay, let's just put this in perspective. Let's say that you know a lot about statins and cholesterol and you know that they can be dangerous. You know that that's not a high number for cholesterol. I'm just going on my own experience here, you guys. Are you a person that then says to them, oh, you really should look into what that means? Like, don't automatically take a statin. You should learn that actually cholesterol creates hormones, and then you just have diarrhea of the mouth, and the next thing you know, 40 minutes has passed, and this person is literally taking notes in their head about all the things you've told them. They no longer need to hire you because they've got most of the information they wanted to get from you. That is treating your health coaching business as a hobby. That is giving everything away on the front end and setting yourself up for some risk. So how would you help those brain pickers and those people that are coming to you? I think it's Maria Forleo that calls them brain pickers. It's just a natural thing to say, but say someone comes to you and they ask you a question about health and they're looking at you like, oh, I'm about to get some great information. Here's one thing you can say. Yeah, cholesterol is one of those, it's a hot topic in my business right now. And there are so many things that go around whether or not someone should be worried about cholesterol. It's a liability for me to even share information about such an important topic, but I would be happy to do a free 15-minute consultation and have a conversation with you. Here's my postcard, or if you're stuck on business cards, here's my business card. Send me an email. Let's get that set up. So you're telling them, this is all, yes, I know information about it. No, I'm not working for free, except for this free consultation, this free session. Let's see if we can, have a conversation, and you're leaving it in their hands to get in touch with you. Right. I mean, that's the way we need to be doing this. We don't need to be giving everything away on the front end and then begging people to work with us. We are not desperate for business. We are for hire. And it's different than being desperate. Okay. But what works for both online and local work is you've got to be engaged. You've got to be seen. You need to know what they want. You've got to be authentic. You've got to give value on every corner. You've got to give free things away. Don't be afraid to give away free things. Just know your limits. Flash sales and ethical pricing, and honestly believing in yourself. That works for both of these things. All of these things are the key ingredients to being successful in getting clients. So, we didn't talk about going and knocking on a door and saying, would you work with me? We're talking about how it actually looks to build a health coaching business when you are someone who is either you are out there working right now and you're just like, I don't even know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong? Do you have all of these things dialed in? And are you telling yourself stories and messages that are they're going against and contradicting what you truly believe you deserve for yourself? Do you really believe in yourself? Do you really want to spend another $2,000, $3,000 learning about leaky gut and thyroid and all of those things? Or do you want to start getting clients no matter what their problem is? So these are things you have to ask yourself. So I never ever end a webinar without saying thank you, because I know that extra time in a day is super, super important and it's a rarity. And I always want to let people know I appreciate the time that they spend with me, whether you've paid to be here, whether your time is, you got in here free, whatever it may be. Time is important to me. I know it's important to you, and I appreciate it. Now I'm going to touch on this last thing real quick, and then I'm going to turn off the, I'm going to turn on the video, and I'm going to answer any questions you may have. But for those of you who asked, I told you in the beginning, I was going to tell you, if you ever want to just get in the trainings for free and don't ever want to pay for another one, this is where you have to go to find out more about how to do that. instituteforfunctionalhealthcoaching.com. You can go out there and look at it on your own. This is not a pitching thing, so I'm going to exit. But I wanted to make sure that I put that up there for you guys who are interested. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to put my video on, and I'm going to check the chat. Okay, Kerrigan's probably going to tell me that I talked 100 miles an hour if he's still on. All right, I'm going to questions. Okay, so Brooklyn is saying, I have a good website, done blogs, live videos, Facebook group, no clients or anyone interested really. Okay, now that you have heard what I've talked about mentality, about engagement, about finding a place that you feel comfortable, Brooklyn, is there anything that resonated with you? Because there has to be something, because if you're doing all of these things right, you've got a great website, you're doing regular blogs and you're consistent with it, you're doing regular live videos daily or 5 or 6 times a week, you've got a Facebook that's engaged, that you're polling and asking questions to. If you're doing all of those things right that I just talked about and you still don't have any clients, tell me what else you need to know, because I think consistency is key. I think we need to be really honest with ourselves. Are we doing lives regularly? Are our lives getting attention? And if they're not, after a couple of weeks, we need to find something else that speaks to people, right? Okay. Jennifer says, pain point, consistently having enough clients to generate income, raising my prices, fear of deterring people from wanting to work with me. Okay, Jen, so I know you. I'm just getting to know you even better and better. And I'm telling you right now that the only block that you have is your fear of people not wanting to work with you. And that fear is, I should have just done a whole slide on fear, is it's absolutely 100% in line with almost everything everyone else has. Fear is the driving force behind failure. Maybe we fear raising our prices because we're fear people are going to think that we don't deserve to be paid. Like, what's behind the fear of raising the prices? It's not deterring people. You cannot control that. There's nothing you can do to convince people to work with you. And honestly, you don't want to convince people to work with you that aren't ready to change, right? That's another thing I'm kind of the black sheep about. I'm not going to chase people down to work with me. I'm not going to try to convince someone that it's time for them to change their life. I'm not going to convince someone that they need to commit to themselves. I'm going to tell you that I'm here. I'm committed to your success. I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to be your person. But it's up to you to take the first step. You've got to invest in your health, whether it's a higher priced service or a higher priced class or a commitment of 3 months instead of 1, or whatever it may be. That person has to take the first step, and they are out there. Raise your prices. Raise your prices for what you want to do for your life and for your business. And the people that would be deterred from that, they can go on, because there are people out there that are not going to be, and they're going to find you. So dig into the fear about where's the fear come from raising prices. I don't think you're afraid that people aren't going to want to work with you. I think it has to go deeper than that. I think it has to go underneath and say, maybe I'm afraid that I am not enough. Maybe I'm afraid that I don't have enough to offer. And I can tell you right now that you do. So I hope that was helpful. The tough love in me comes out sometimes when I see that stuff. Yeah, I love the Oscar Wilde quote too. It's my favorite. All right, Georgita says, I'm having a hard time coming up with a content and schedule it post to my group daily. Okay. So the Pure Gold Resource Guide, Georgita, is in the Institute for Functional Health. It's in the mentorship group. The Pure Gold Resource is also a pop-up on my website at Carmen Hunter Health right now, carmenhunterhealth.com. So what the Pure Gold Resource Guide is I think it's now 28 pages long, or maybe it's longer than that, but it is 250 plus resources that you need to go into every day. Have that document pulled up every morning to start your day, keeping your group in mind. What are they interested in? What are they thinking about? Go to that resource group, tap on somebody on there, and pick something to share. So what that may look like is this. Let me think. What can I use for an example? Let's use Lyme disease, okay? So y'all like my Merry Christmas mug? So let's use Lyme disease. There's tons of resources on that list for Lyme disease. Let's say you've got a bunch of people in your group and they've said, they were diagnosed with Lyme. I'm just making this up, Georgita. You're the one that knows your group. You're going to have to get to know them better, do a survey, do a poll, find out. But you can go out to that list and you can pull up, I think it's, maybe it's Horowitz or Buhner or Cowden. Find the Lyme disease specialist. Click on their website. These are reliable wellness professionals I've brought to you guys. And find an article that speaks to Lyme disease, myths about Lyme disease, whatever it may be. Copy the URL, go to your group, make a comment about it. I found this article really interesting today. It really talked to me about some of the things people didn't know about Lyme. I hope you enjoy it. Post. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be on a schedule at the same time every day. Maybe that's how you start your mornings. Create a Canva ad. Good morning, everyone. What are you doing with your day today? Right? And then you put it in there. Get people talking. That's another way to get clients, you guys, is get them communicating to each other on your group pages by doing something like asking personal questions. Tell me in the comments, what's your favorite gluten-free cookie? What's your favorite Christmas dish? What's your favorite exercise? Whatever it may be. But scheduling something to post in your group is the easiest thing in the world. But you just go to your resource guide, think of your group, what's relevant to them, use the resources I've given you. I mean, there's thousands of them. Click it, post it, and do that every day. So you don't have to come up with original content from your mind, right? That's the other thing, is don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel is out there. It's been created. Go out there and use those resources that are available to you. Yeah. Okay. Kerrigan says outsource your content work. That must have been something I was talking about. Public libraries are great places to give free talks and gain a lot of credibility. Yeah. Free advertisement. Absolutely love it. Love it. Gabriella says, I did a few. The library helped me making the flyers. I distributed them, but they put them in all levels of the branches. That's awesome. Brooklyn says, do we post the same things to our business page and group? Do I go live in both? Struggling about what to post and where. Okay. So your business page is that page where if you're ever going to do Facebook ads from it, if you want to tie people in, I think everyone needs a business page, period. Have a business page. But I also think everybody needs a group, because that's where people get to interact with you and get to talk to you, and you have conversations. They talk to each other. They support each other. In a business page, it's just not the same. You don't get as much interaction, conversations, and things like that. So here is a suggestion, that it's your business, make your decisions. In your business page, maybe you post something in there about the value of health coaches. I don't know. Chris Kresser just put an article out the other day about health coaches. James Maskell is talking about health coaches all day long. So maybe once a week you post something in there that talks about the value of health coaches, and say, please, visit my website for more information about what I do, but read this article about how important health coaches are to the world, something like that. Then maybe that same day you go into your groups and you say, maybe you do a survey that says, if you were to hire a health coach, what are the top things that you would want to work with them on it? I would not do the same thing in your business page as you're doing in your group page, because the group page needs to be a little bit more personal. That's where people are talking to each other. So then maybe one day on your business page, you post something in there about, I don't know, how gluten lights up the dopamine receptor, something based on science that gets people's heads a little spinning and turning. Then maybe you go into your group and say, what one thing, if you gave up a gluten-free food plan, if you started a gluten-free food plan, would you hope that you could duplicate from your regular, the way you eat now? Do you see what I'm saying? More personal in the groups, more business and information in the business page that's going to get people thinking. Okay. Are the slides supposed to be changing? Lord, I hope that you guys saw them. Did you guys see the slides? I hope so. Oh my gosh, someone tell me I did an entire webinar and you guys didn't see the slides. Someone tell me that you saw them. Joan, you might have been frozen on something. I don't know. Okay. Karen, I think it says Karen. For some reason, your names are only coming up K-A-R, so I hope I'm getting this right. I love the writing and blogging. I'm not sure it gets clients, but I love it, so I do it consistently. Perfect. And yes, somehow, some way, you're getting clients from that, or you're getting people that are interested, because writing and blogging is a great way to engage. I'm glad you found something you love. Yeah, doing webinars through Zoom is free up to 40 people, or 40 minutes, I think. You think it's possible to give a 25 to 30-minute webinar, leaving the rest of the time for Q&A and closing? I think it's possible, but I think that it's probably more possible for people that are newer to the business, because being someone who's seasoned in this business, I could talk for 5 hours about health. And I know some of you have been coaching for a while, and you probably could do the same. So I would do it based on how comfortable you are with conversation, how long you've been doing this business, how much you've got in your head. Are you a person who tends to ramble like me because you want to just get all that great information out there right now and you don't want anybody to wait? You got to keep those things in mind. Brooklyn says, I need to learn how to do webinars with Zoom. I think it might be in the Institute content. It is. I do a how to do a webinar in Zoom. You get a whole training process in there. I even teach you how to do a slide deck. That's in there too. The raffle website was rafflecopter.com, like helicopter, but rafflecopter. Joan says, one thing I have not actually been getting clients is because I have not yet obtained insurance. Is it safe to do online webinars with general topic content without the insurance yet? I would think so, because people are opting in and they're jumping in. You're not at their house pushing the button for them, right? So one thing to consider is just doing a disclaimer at the front end, and absolutely, I think that would be fine. The other thing you can do is you can if you haven't bought like a terms and conditions or privacy, and I'm not sure which one it would be. I think terms and conditions of use. If you haven't bought that template, Sam actually has a great price on hers right now. Sam is a new attorney. I'm happy to provide a link for you guys with a replay if you're interested in looking at it. But you can also go out and just Google terms and condition template. And I bet you're going to find something out there that you can just quickly put together in the meantime while you're waiting for, maybe the budget to do those forms by an attorney, okay? Carmen, one thing you said that's really important to me was count your successes. If you committed to do it and did it, it's success. Don't just measure how many clients sign up. Yes. Yes. So true. Yes. Because so many times we base our success on the people that join us or the people that purchase. But if you make a decision to do something that's important to you and you follow through with that commitment, that's success. And I created a quote a couple of years ago that the only person who ever failed to succeed is the one who didn't take the first step. I truly believe that. Okay. She had an appointment. Brooklyn says, my struggle is brain fog from mold. It makes it so hard to live videos and person talks. My health still isn't consistent. That's okay, Brooklyn. It's okay. Do what you feel you can do. Even if you wanted to do, some notes for yourself, it's okay to put notes down. Like look here, this is what I do. Sometimes when I'm training students and we're having live calls, I'm taking notes. This is like one of my notebooks. So you tell people, listen, I have so many great things I want to talk to you guys about in this live today, and I don't want to forget anything. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have some notes down here so that I can stay on task, right? So, that's the other part. So go back to what I talked about being perfect. You don't have to do this perfectly. You truly don't have to do this perfectly. I want you to do this in a way that feels the best for you. And if that means you keep notes down here to deliver the value that you want to deliver, then so be it. Who cares? And you know what? If you're waiting for your health to be consistent, just keep on waiting because something's around the corner for all of us. We've got to do the best we can with what we're doing today and stop worrying about the future and stop worrying about what we think people think of us. Okay. Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you guys got something really good out of this training. I hope you got some great details. Let me go over to the Q&A real quick. Karen says, I like these points about trust and referrals. You have tips on building referral base for needs like mental health, doctors, etc. So here's the deal with referrals on mental health and things like that. Here's what I do. I have been to so many dang doctors from trying to figure out my own stuff. First of all, I've created the doctor's template and the successful doctor's appointment stuff so that my clients can go out and find their own practitioners and their own people. The other thing is this, is that I've made the mistake of like believing in a doctor and I gotta move that window. Believing in a doctor, shuttling referrals to him to the point where he told me flat out, my business grew too quick, I couldn't keep up. I appreciate it, but they literally crashed. Couldn't do it. So then I had disappointed clients because he couldn't do the job he was supposed to do. So do I want to be responsible for choosing a doctor for someone? I don't. Do I have tips on building a referral base? Not really. So here's what I would do. I would say it's determinant on the person. So someone comes to me and says, my child is dealing with anxiety and ADHD. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I would say to that person, so the first thing that I would consider is looking into, a resource like Kelly Brogan, her book on, your mind is a mind of your own. In addition to that, what I can do is suggest that in your area, wherever you live, that you type in functional mental health professionals, or maybe I can do that, functional mental health professionals, and I can send them a link that gives them a list. Maybe they go to Primal Doc. Well, it's not Primal Docs anymore. It's Refind Health. I think it's Find Health, something like that. Whole database of doctors and practitioners out there. FunctionalWellnessFX.com. Practitioners and doctors everywhere out there. So I don't have specific people I send people to, really, because it felt like too much for me to take that responsibility on, to really want that responsibility. So I created the successful doctor's template, which the school and the mentorship people, you guys have access to that, and how to have a successful doctor's appointment. And I added that into the value of what I do for my clients. So if they ask me for a referral, I might say to them, let me get you the successful doctor's template so that you can fill that out and some tips on how to have a good appointment, and then maybe send you in the right direction and start doing some homework. Ultimately, it's up to them. Again, we've got to put this in their hands. We are not there to make decisions for them based on doctors. Okay. So that's what I would do with that. I hope that's helpful, Karen. But again, don't take on the work for yourself. Empower your clients, inspire them to do this on their own. Brooklyn says, can I get these slides somehow? Great information. It's a lot. Let me see if I can get my team to get the PowerPoints put into a sendable format where it doesn't take up too much space, but I will absolutely ask. Otherwise, you're getting the replay, so you can go back and listen to it either way. So for sure, you're getting the replay. I will ask about the slides for sure. Okay. And also just FYI, this training will live in the Health Coach Mentorship and Mastery group, and it will live in the Institute for Functional Health Coaching. So you guys are going to have access to it no matter what. So, Gabriella says, I want to be better at responding to brain pickers. I have the tendency to give too much for free. Would love to have more examples on how to respond to them. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely can do a free, a short live on Facebook for that. Gabriella, if you want me to do it, I can do it in the mentorship group. It doesn't matter. Let me know. I'll be happy to do that. Go ahead and put it in the mentorship group and tag me on it. But for anyone who's not in the mentorship group, it is an absolute skill that you have to develop as time goes on to be comfortable with responding to people in a way that honors what you do. So if people come to you at a meet and greet or a business after hours or something, and they say, all right, so I hear you're a health coach. I heard you help Sam with his type 2 diabetes and he doesn't have to take medication. I bet you can't do that for me. Tell me what you're going to do. Trust me when I tell you that this has happened to me, this mentality that I'm supposed to give them information for free. This is how I would handle it if it happened to me today. I would say, yeah, I mean, he totally committed to his success. He lost, 45 pounds. He made decisions for his health that got him to the point of reversing that type 2 diabetes. I really just kind of helped guide him and support him to the best resources, because that's what a health coach does. We give resources, we guide people, we support them, we cheerlead them on. But ultimately, it's up to you to make that commitment. Now, if you're interested in a free consultation, I'd be happy to talk to you further about that. But overall, health coaching is it's a position kind of like a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. When we give advice, we risk liability. So going into too much detail isn't something I like to do. Thank you. Here's my postcard, right? And you know what? I bet I don't have a postcard. I bet I used them all. I was looking in my drawer back here so I could show you guys, because I always hold it up when I do a training, but I've used them all and they're all bent up. But anyway, it is literally a postcard with information on about what I do, and I carry them wherever I go. All right. So it takes time. It takes time to get that down. It really does. Joan said, clarification on one thing. Did you suggest we should have groups in our personal Facebook page rather than our business page? I don't know what that means. So you're going to have to build you create your group with your person. Okay. So let me back up. You have a personal page on Facebook, right? Carmen Peterson Hunter. That's my personal page. From having that profile, I've then created my business page, and I have then created my group. So I'm pretty sure, and this is not set in stone because I haven't looked at this in years, but pretty sure you have to use your personal Facebook page to set up the business page, to set up the group video. Okay. I think that's why when I was talking earlier about some people who are wanting to create a fake profile of someone, of themselves, without all of their personal stuff, why I was saying anything was a great idea. So yeah. Okay. Jennifer says, I do agree. I do not want to convince people to work with me. I've slowly raised my price each time I push through the fear, but here I am again, fearful. Grr, damn you, fear. I agree with you, Carmen. I appreciate you saying all this. I need tough love. You know I love to do that. Poke, poke, poke. Tough love. Okay. So money mindset is one of the biggest barriers that health coaches have. Is one of the biggest reasons we're not out there making a killing. The other reason is because, maybe we haven't tapped into those outside resources of doing classes and groups. Maybe we believe there's a limit. Maybe we've set that financial limit in our mind based on what other people are telling us. Maybe we are comparing ourselves to all of these people that are telling us how much money they make. Make $50,000 in your first webinar. And you're like, I don't even know how to do a webinar. Automatic, sabotage, feeling terrible, inadequacy, fear, shame, guilt, tears, right? So the first hurdle for people is getting over those things that enter your mind, the very first piece of it. Okay, so if it looks like this, let's say, I'm going to use you, Jennifer. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to use you for an example. I promise not to share personal stuff, but I'm going to use your name. Let's say Jennifer has someone come up to her and they say to her, I heard that you can really help me with leaky gut and adrenal problems and all that. I'm a hot mess. So, what do you charge? Say Jennifer says, let's hop on the phone for a 20 minute free consultation. Let's dig a little deeper and see what's going on. Let's say that they talk, they have this conversation. the person says, well, tell me how much you charge. And Jennifer says, well, why don't I just send you an email with my fees and services and you can see what you want to choose and what would be best for you. No, I need you just to tell me, how much do you charge? Because before I hang up, I need to tell my husband. Jennifer may say, well, I charge, $550 a month. And that includes a 90-minute phone conversation, ongoing support by email. And that person might go, okay, yeah, let me talk to my husband. And then she doesn't hear from them. And they don't ever come back to her. One of the first things that health coaches do, and I'm not saying Jennifer's doing this, I'm just using her as her name. One of the first things health coaches do is say, okay, well, they said that everything I said was really great. They said it sounded like I could help them. Then I went and gave them my price. Oh my God, it must have been the price. Maybe I should email them. I should email them and tell them I'll give them a discount. I'll do that. I'll tell them the $550 a month was only, it actually included 2 calls. Do you see how this happens? The minute that you don't hear from someone, you have opened up that window for doubt. You have opened up that window for thinking it's you. That's the problem. That's one of the reasons why people aren't getting clients. And I can tell you this right now, it's not you. It's not you. It's because they chose not to pay the $550. It's really that simple. It's not you. It's their decision. It's their money. It's their budget. It's their priorities. It's their lack of belief in themselves to commit. It's never you. So another thing you can do in order to get more clients is stop taking everything personally. If someone doesn't want to work with you, okay, thank you for opening up that space for the people who do. I'll be here when you're ready or whatever. It's really an inner dialogue I think all health coaches should focus on, is changing the way that we're talking to ourselves, because people aren't jumping on board to work with us every minute of the day. It could be the one reason they're not. Tell me if that speaks to any of you. We're working on an hour and a half of training here, which is fine. I'm absolutely fine to hang in here and answer questions, no problem. But tell me if I'm being helpful here, you guys. I don't want to just be talking to, the air here. And if you're catching the replay, I hope this is great value for you guys. Thanks for everything, Carmen. You've given a lot of great ideas. Just did my first email campaign thanks to Claudia Petrelli and her content. It went out today and getting opt-ins already. Woo! Yeah, Claudia's awesome. If you guys want me to include Claudia's link in the replay, I'll be happy to do that too. I'll make myself a note. See how imperfect I'm doing right now by writing a note in the middle of a webinar? Okay. All right. That's great. Awesome job, Robin. Really proud of you for that. And she's talking about collaboration with their professionals, doing a talk on the 13th. You're rocking and rolling. See? And isn't it great that once you start seeing those things, it kind of has a snowball effect. You start, you get one success and that gets you excited. And then your mind changes from an unsuccessful mindset into a successful mindset, and then the people just start coming in. Our minds are so powerful. Georgina says, what do you suggest in building your Facebook group? I've already talked about it. Do surveys, do polls, do notes. Tell people on your Facebook page, hey, I've got a group. I need people in there talking. Come on in here. Help me out. Like, I want some conversation. I want to know what you need. If I was building a group right now, I would be on Facebook live every day. I would tell everyone on my personal Facebook, you're going to see me every day at 2 o'clock or whatever time. I'm trying to build a group and help people. I want to make a difference in the world. I'm a health coach with a lot of knowledge, and I know there's a lot of you out there that have a lot of health problems. So I'm going to put the group page underneath here. I want to see you over there. The more people we get, the better. I mean, offer an incentive. If you come over to my group, if by the time, give a deadline. If you join my group by Friday, the whatever date, you're eligible to win a free consultation with me. I mean, that's a great way to get interest as well. So do that too, okay? Okay, you guys are saying you saw all the slides. I was like, whew, okay, panic. How do you stop the brain? Good question. How do you stop the brain pickers on your group page? Okay, so you say it like this. Someone puts out a question. Here, this has happened to me 1,000 times. Here are my labs. Okay, can you read them and tell me what's wrong with me? And you're like, oh, God, no, I can't because it's a liability. You can simply say, wow, this is a lot of information. And in order to go over something this extensive, I absolutely have to have a client agreement or a disclaimer signed, because it really opens up the door of risk for me. If you're interested in going and looking at those services with me at one-on-one or doing a one-time session, please make sure to go to my website or email me here like that. All right. What if someone says, I was diagnosed with IBS when I was 10. No one's ever been able to help me. I'm now on Humira. It's an immunosuppressive drug. I've just gotten overweight. I've got acne. I feel terrible. What's the first thing I should do? Right? Aren't you like this when people say, what's the first thing I should do with chronic problems? You're like, So for something like that, I would say, that sounds like a miserable experience. I'm so sorry that you've dealt with that. But I can tell you that there's hope. Whole food, stress, sleep, all of those things play a very, very big part in getting well from a problem like that. It takes a consistent, systematic way of approaching your health, and looking at whole food is one of the first ways that I suggest people start. So you're empathizing, you're providing, some value about how you give some more information. Like, gluten's highly inflammatory. It's one of the first things that I know one of my clients had to take out to overcome that. Whatever, maybe you say something like, 40% of the immune system or more is in the gut. So if the gut is not well, then the immune system cannot function properly. And then you go into, if you want more details about that, I do this with my one-on-ones. Maybe you have a class coming up on digestion. You share the link to that, provide the value, lead them somewhere. Okay. Lead them somewhere. When you're providing that value, you're letting them know you care. You're letting them know you have information to help them, but you're also letting them know this is a business too. And that's something that you offer bigger, and then send them on their way. Yeah. Okay. All slides. Okay. Carmen, all slides. I froze a couple times briefly. Okay. That must've been on your end, I think. Cause I have two Wi-Fi's going on. So I've had a full powerful Wi-Fi. I had to buy more Wi-Fi because of all the craziness that we've got going on plugged in around this house. I'm so glad you guys joined. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you, Carmen, for all the amazing content. You always over deliver. Thank you. You're welcome. I love to give. I do love, love, love it. I'm scrolling down. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Amira. I'm hosting my first free local workshop. Whoop, whoop. To get clients, I don't feel comfortable pitching myself at the end or confident I'll be able to hook anyone. Okay. So before I even read any further, you just sabotaged yourself by saying you don't feel comfortable pitching yourself at the end and you don't feel confident. So I want you to flip that conversation around a little bit. And let's just change the dialogue. Even if you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel confident, you can say, I am comfortable and I am confident that I'll be able to get clients at the end of this. Say it 1,000 freaking times in your head. Every time that you start to tell yourself that you're not comfortable and you're not confident, you need to reverse that and say, I am comfortable delivering information and sharing my knowledge. I am confident that the people who need me and want me are going to show up. I haven't had a client with your system yet. 2 previously with IIN's method. Yeah, didn't do much to help them. 1 broke contract early. Have you tried doing the one-time sessions, Amira? Have you had people interested in, using the system? You haven't been with the system for too long, so I know it's going to take some time to get used to it. But I think really, from what I'm reading in your comment here, it is going to be integral for you to change the way that you're talking to yourself, so that you can bring those people to you that are ready to come your way, because they're out there. I know they are. So shift your dialogue, change your mindset. And you know what? There's a book by Melissa I think her last name's Ambrosia, Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl. If you haven't read it or listened to it on Audible, it's a great book, Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl, so that you can shut down that voice that says you're not comfortable and you're not confident and you're not capable and you won't get clients. I would start with that. Vanessa says, oh my, you talk fast. Yeah, girl. I was trying to listen to your suggestions about how to get people to a group. Yeah. I mean, that's when I'm on for an hour and 35 minutes in order to give you guys everything I want to give you. That's kind of how I have to roll. But I'll make sure that you guys get the recording so you can go back and listen and take notes. Yes. Brooklyn's asking, is there a good platform to create courses on? Paid courses. Yes. Okay. So you can start with Course Craft. So CORSE Craft, Course Craft. And they take quite a bit of your money, but it's a great place to start. It is super user-friendly. It's where I began. It's how I started out teaching the Institute for Functional Health Coaching content in a course called Health Coaching with Confidence almost 4.5 or 5 years ago. That's where I started it. And I had to end up putting it into a different platform, and now we're in the final platform because the content just kept growing and growing and growing. So go to CourseCraft. They're a good one. Teachable is also a good one. Thinkific is where the Institute lives. That is also a very, very friendly platform that has a lot of great ways to hold content. Amira says, I did a couple one times for a detox my friend hosted and that went well, but they're both pretty healthy people. Yeah. So it's just a matter of putting yourself out there, and it's like throwing putty at the wall and seeing what sticks, you guys. You've got to figure out what works for you and for your business. But underlying all of that, you've got to be yourself. You've got to be seen. You've got to be visible. You've got to be sure and confident. You've got to change your money mindset and know that it can happen. And just know that there are people out there right now. They're waiting. They're literally like tapping their watch or their helo, tapping it, wondering, where is that health coach that speaks to me? Where's that person I can resonate with so I can get some help? So, you know, the more that we sit behind these fears of ours, and the more that we believe these stories and these dialogues that are going on in our mind about ourselves or what other people think of us, the less we're helping others. Okay. All right. So Cindy says webinars all December for my first group course in January. Nervous and excited. Yay. So come back and tell us how it goes, you know, and if you're not in there's a free clarity group that I offer too. So if you're not in the Institute and you're not in the mentorship group, there's the clarity group. I go in there too. I want to know how you guys are doing with all of this. All right. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to ask? Is there anything I did not cover? Any myths and mysteries that you've been told or believe that are true, and I can probably dispel them? And I just want to encourage you to take off your superwoman or superman cape and be a real person. Put your nose to the grindstone, put your feet on the pavement, get out there, tell people who you are, and stop listening to all this is my big thing lately. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing it. For those of you who know me, stop listening to the things that don't speak to you. If you are not a person that wears high heels and has your hair done and, you know, wants to do all of these fancy things online, don't set yourself up for failure by thinking you have to. Do what feels good to you and who you are. That's what's going to bring you success. You got to be who you are and not who people think you should be. That makes sense? Okay. Daniela, thanks for staying with us. It's almost midnight for you and you have a 5:40 a.m. start. I have to go. All right, go to bed, go sleep. Yay. All right, everybody, you know what? I love teaching. I love it. It's, you know, my mom told me when I was in second grade and got in trouble from the teacher, when he went to the restroom, I got up and I was teaching the class. When he came back and I got in trouble, I had to go to the principal's little office and just kind of like sit with myself. My mom tells the story about how he called her in and said, you know, Carmen she really likes to help other people, but I don't need her teaching my class. My mom said she's going to be a teacher when she grows up. And I was like, like I'm 46 years old. When I was in my 30s and 20s and going to school, I thought about the teaching thing. I'm like, I am not a teacher, but guess what? I'm a teacher. I love it. It's my passion. I love sharing information. So we've got lots more live trainings coming up. It's what I'm going to continue to do to give you guys the tools that you need, either for free if you're part of the community, or at an affordable price, so that you don't feel like you have to pay thousands of dollars to learn from someone who's been there, done it, built a business, made mistakes, all of those things. Because that's why you're learning from me, is because I've been there. So anyway, have a fabulous day. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate it. And I'll see you wherever you live online. All right. Thanks, guys.